Do you take Hunter to be your lawfully wedded person for life? I do. And Hunter, do you take... No, no. I mean, you're stupid. Everything about you is wrong. Your face is wrong. Your eyes, wrong. Your nose, wrong. I mean, like, what is even going on with that hair? Like, who has brown hair? And the things you say, everything you say makes no sense. You never say anything funny. You mess everything up. You piss people off. You don't make sense. No one, there's nothing about you. Everything you say is stupid. You're worthless. Like, there's nothing about you anyone should like. You mess everything up. You don't say anything funny or interesting. You don't provide any value. You're worthless. Yeah. So, do you still want the cake?
It's so uncomfortable. Everyone in video sits on the left and the little image thingy pops up on the right. Whatever. Alright. I want to make talking about our mental health and learning about ourselves to be like play, to be fun, because these topics can be uncomfortable. They can be scary. And I don't want it doesn't have to be like that. It doesn't have to be like that. And that's why I included that little skit about me going crazy on myself and marrying myself, because I think it's an interesting way to approach the topic. Because some people do talk to themselves like that. They talk to themselves like their worst enemy. And while I made a joke about it, just to like, dip the toe in water on this subject, it's really important, and I feel that it's important that we actually learn how we have been talking to ourselves. The way I want to do this is I want to include these little Dora the Explorer moments where we pause and we give ourselves a chance to ask ourselves or think about how we have been behaving and how we have been talking to ourselves. And it's not important because I'm not going to tell you what you should do. I'm literally going to just explain what I've done or what I do for myself. But the most important thing is that you take these moments to think about how you've been behaving or thinking. And you come to your own conclusions about how you want to change them, or if at all. So let's go into this first Dora the Explorer episode exercise. Alright, so the first exercise is to imagine that if you were to compile all the awful things that you said to yourself and instead said them to a friend, can you imagine how that friend would feel? How would your friend feel if you said, "You're stupid, you're worthless, you're a moron"? And now this is one of those Dora the Explorer moments. I actually want you to think about this. And in order to do that, this video might last forever because people take however much time they need. And so what I'm gonna do is you know what? I wish I had like a symbol, like a symbol that like whenever this popped up, it said, or it made you pause and think. That's all right. Boom. When you see this symbol, this like strange stop sign of beachness with a man and a head and the pause, that's when you pause and think. Bend and snap. I hope you get that reference. So let's do that. Alright, chances are your friend would be upset and they may never want to speak to you again because your friend probably isn't stupid. They're definitely not worthless, and they're most certainly not a moron. They had every right not to listen to these statements. So why are you talking to yourself this way? Well, the chances, or I guess the origin of this can actually be simple to trace. It could be the internalization of a voice of maybe an angry parent, or the menacing words of a schoolyard bully, or a teacher who seemed impossible to please. We accepted these voices because at some point, certain key moments in our life, they just sounded so compelling. They just made sense. And these people repeated their messages until they became lodged into our way of thinking. And so I want you to think about these things. In the next exercise, I want you to pause and think about each of these phrases. For example, I want you, for the first one, when I do something stupid, I usually tell myself, and for me, I'd say, why the hell did you mess that up? It was so simple. It was so simple. Anyone could have done it. A monkey could have done it. Anyone, like, how could you mess up something so simple? That's how I used to talk to myself. So I want you to go through each of these phrases and ask yourself exactly what it says, and really think about what you say to yourself, and maybe whose voice it was that became your inner voice in each of these questions. So I want you to pause and think. Being hard on ourselves can feel like a survival strategy. Feels like it pushes us past complacency. But there are equal, if not greater, dangers at stake here. Affected by a lack of self-love, romantic relationships become impossible. Because one of the essential requirements of a capacity to accept love from another person is to accept affection for ourselves. Without a decent amount of self-love, the kindness of another will always seem fake. Because it suggests, like, you know who the hell I am? Like, I'm ugly. Why the hell would this person love me? Or I always mess things up. This person clearly doesn't understand who I am because they actually appreciate me. So while it may feel tempting that we shouldn't judge ourselves at all in that case, and we should just simply love everything no matter what and approve everything, stamp of approval, a good internal voice is rather like a genuinely good friend. Someone who can separate good from bad, who can be merciful and fair and accurate in understanding what's going on in our life. And so it's not that we should just stop judging ourselves, rather we should learn to be better judges of ourselves. And the best way to do that is to learn how to talk to ourselves like someone we care about, or that of a great friend. So the next pause and think, I feel like this is becoming Blue's Clues, is I want you to think about a person in your life who you care about. Someone who has offered genuine encouragement, who sees the best in you regardless of the circumstances in those difficult moments. Or the second way to do this is to think about someone that you care about. And if they were in the same situation as you, if they messed something up, or they were thinking about something in their life, they were in some kind of situation that you might be talking to yourself negatively in, I want you to think, what would you tell this person if they were in the same situation? So think of those two things. Pause and think. Alright, now that we have that person in mind, either somebody who would say these things and see the best in you but also want you to improve, or you've thought of the concept of thinking of someone you care about and what you'd say to them in that situation, I want you to test it out. Give it a run for its money. Just imagine a car going a million miles per hour. Disregard my analogy. Alright, next exercise to pause and think, I love doing that, is to try out your new inner voice. So just like we did in the first time we thought about how you talk to yourself, now go through these same exercises, but use these methods that we had from before. Either think of the words of someone who sees the best in you, or someone that you care about and what you would say to them in that situation. So that's all. I'm gonna leave you off on that, but I want you to pause and think about these things. All of these things. If you need more time, go back to any of these other sections. I made it in the video so you could easily find them, because I want you to pause and think about them. If you find these things valuable, if you learn something about yourself, if you want to change your behavior, then really just talk to yourself about it. Because at the end of the day, you already have everything you need to do what you need to do. And I hope you master the power of learning to love yourself. Alright, peace out. I love this. This feels like Blue's Clues.